Welcome to Monster Movie.
When will I be too old to do this?
That's a good question.
When I'm on the oxygen mask.
I think just when we're going to be like, yeah, let's not do this anymore, that's when somebody will step up and offer to pay us to do this. And we're going to keep going.
All right, we're not doing this anymore. We're out. By the way, this episode is brought to you by Kensington Books, makers of fine books, including Pinnacle Books, where you can find such lovelies as Their Jersey Devil,
Joycey,
The Montauk Monster, Torches of the Damned, or Ron Malfi's newest, The Night Parade, which is his follow-up to Little Girls. This is my Horror-tober #1 on my reading list.
Ooh.
So,
what's that about?
First the birds disappeared, then the insects took over, then the madness began. It's about a disease called the Wanderer's Folly. So, Ron Malfi is actually one of the best writers.
We gotta get him on the show.
That would be great. And there'll be much whiskey drinking.
Malfi!
Ron, you're on. So, thank you, Kensington. And this is...
Did you see what I'm eating? Candy corn.
In a little...
It's the Halloween episode!
Yee-hoo! All right.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Samhain.
Happy Horror-tober.
What are you, Peter Potamus?
The Hippo Hurricane.
Oh. Hanna-Barbera ruled.
So we generally release this episode a little bit before Halloween. Get everybody fired up.
Fired up. Nipples hard. So, it being Horror-tober, at the end of October every year, the last weekend of the year, we always go to Chiller Theater.
Chiller Theater Convention in Parsippany, New Jersey.
It's beautiful Parsippany. It's actually, for the Northeast, I think it's the biggest horror con. I mean, thousands and thousands of people come.
Yeah.
So, we're bringing our posse. Our posse is growing.
We've got a lot of people going this year. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Big posse. And we are doing something new, never before done this year. Jack, what are we doing?
We're going to do some live spots on Facebook Live.
That's right, live streaming. So if you can't make it to the con, you can be there with us. So throughout the day, we're going to live stream
We'll check in, show you cool things.
Yeah.
Like last year, we were hanging out by the Batmobile and the Lost in Space rover thing.
Oh, I was in the rover with Don.
Major Don West.
Oh, it's crazy.
So if that happens this year, well...
Live event.
All right, I'm sure we'll tune in from the bar.
Yeah, the bar is always fun. Maybe watch Jack talk to Marianne from Gilligan's Island again.
Barbie Eden's going to be there this year.
That's going to be depressing.
Mm-hmm.
Hello? Hello? I can't hear you.
Call me Master. Just once. Just once.
It would be cool if, like, we go to get her autograph and we just hold her, just keep going. Don't say anything, just keep doing that.
Janie.
Janie.
That's the main Dynasty dice.
And before we get to Chiller, we have one last issue of Dark Dossier's Halloween issue to give out this year. So, all month long we've been giving away copies of this to people who interact with us on Facebook, on our Monsterman page all the time. And the last winner is... Stephen Gibson! Congratulations!
Stephen Gibson!
Son of Mel! So, you're going to get yourself an issue of Dark Dossier magazine,
Son of Gib.
Son of Gib. We're going to autograph it right back here. Oh, it's going to be something special.
If you didn't win, go buy your own copy.
There you go. Great magazine, so pick up a copy. So, we are at Halloween. We got the Halloween house lit up here. We got the magazine. There are no more magazines. We've now cleared them all out this month. We got all our guys. This is my daughter's, by the way. Picked it up from Cracker Barrel.
Does it not make noise?
I turned it off for the show
Okay.
because it's very loud. So, it's Halloween. You know, Horror-tober is our thing. You've seen on Twitter, I'm posting everything that we're watching. We're posting what we're watching.
We post what we watch. We try and watch a horror movie a day, or at least 31 horror movies.
You'll know by now that I can't do a horror movie a day this year, but
I can't either.
Working hard at it. Also, I have my reading list, so you'll follow my reading list.
Basically, anything Halloween-y we do, we'll hashtag it with Horror-tober.
Yeah. So You know how to find.
Join the conversation. One of the things that we do is we load up on horror movies, and it's a combination of new stuff and going back to our favorites.
Right.
And I think in a recent Facebook Live thing you did on the Hunter Shade page, somebody asked you about what your favorite movies were.
Yes.
And I thought about how
That's
hard...
where that was from. Yeah, you're right.
I thought about how hard that question is, because there's always qualifiers. You're like, well, I don't know if it's my favorite movie, but it means a lot to me, or whatever. But as horror fans, I figured there's got to be 10, 12 movies that are like this is sort of like my favorite stuff.
It's the foundation upon which all my other stuff is.
Yeah, like there's maybe some new stuff in there. There's probably some old stuff. So I was like, let's talk about our favorite movies. And then, like I said, you may be like, this movie's better, that movie's better, but this one's got a special place in my heart. I like this about it, or this just could be flat out my favorite movie.
And you said to do 10. We sat down. We gave each other, I think, a minute. I came up with 12, and you came up with 11.
Actually, I kind of came up with 12. There's one that there's a part 1 and a part 3 that I was like, I can't decide.
Right.
So.
All right. So we each have our list. So these are movies you could watch or plan to watch for Halloween.
It also gives you some insight into our taste.
Yes.
Like,
or terrible taste. No, we have good taste.
No, because there are some movies that like are your favorites that I'm like, yeah, that's a pretty good movie.
Right.
And vice versa. And then there's a couple that we're both like, this is it.
Don't touch this movie. It's ours.
So
I think we both have the same favorite.
Yeah.
It's The Thing.
It's The Thing.
Which mine goes back and forth, but between The Thing and Alien.
If you had to put a gun to my head and say, what's the best horror movie? I'll sit back. I can't say, if I say The Thing, I don't feel bad about that answer.
Right. I wouldn't feel bad about it either. To me, The Thing and Alien are very similar in the fact that you have a handful of very well-drawn characters. I mean, you felt like you knew the backstory of each character, even though they might not have a lot of screen time. And then there was a creature killing them off one by one. So obviously that's kind of like what I dig.
Mm-hmm.
And they're two very different movies, but they're two very similar movies. So that was like the first two things I wrote: Alien, The Thing.
They're both claustrophobic, except that The Thing's got moments in the wide open, but you're still way out in the middle of nowhere.
You're gonna die.
Yeah.
Either place, you're gonna die. So and then there's a feeling of hopelessness in both movies that I kind of like.
But The Thing, just the special effects, the horror moments in that, the tension,
A little bit of
Kurt
humor.
Russell, the humor, and then that ending.
I
Where you're
love
wondering
that.
I don't want. If you haven't seen it by now, shame on you. But
Boom, boom.
there's some question as to
Boom, boom.
the ending.
Great ending. So we both have. Do you have Alien on yours or no?
Nope.
You don't have Alien. So
I like
have
Alien.
We both have The Thing.
I like Alien, and I love Aliens too. Like I loved how they were so different.
Yeah. To me, Alien was a horror movie. Aliens
Like
was
an action
sci-fi movie.
I love Alien. I recognize it as great, but it's not one of those movies that I keep going back to and watching over and over again. Whereas The Thing,
Right.
I'll pop that in anytime.
Now, I'm not even looking at your list. I will guarantee the original Dawn of the Dead is on there.
Yes. So Dawn of the Dead, I would put in my top 5 horror movies of all time. That movie changed my life when I saw it.
Never look at them all the same way again.
That's the one. Night of the Living Dead never really interested me. It was on all the time.
Right.
Zombies didn't do anything. All of a sudden, there it was in color. Biting people, the gore.
Well, the gore was like something I never saw. I looked real. I said, are they killing these people for real?
And that was like we're in high school. We love horror movies, and the gorier, the better. And that
we weren't in high school. We were in grammar school.
I feel like I saw that movie when I was in at least junior
Because it came out in '79.
Well, I didn't see it when it first came out.
Oh, I saw it when it first came out with the Kentucky Fried Movie.
I saw it. We were at least driving age because I saw it here in Yonkers, but there was no adult with us.
I think I was 12 when I saw it. It was a game changer because literally to this day, I don't look at places without thinking, well, how would I hole up in here?
All this craze of zombies now. This movie does not get the credited auto. Everybody talks about the Zack Snyder remake,
Right.
which I thought was pretty pedestrian. It was one of the better remakes, but You can't hold a candle to this.
No.
And just, I freaking love that movie. And I bought like a box set of it that has like 4 different cuts of the movie.
I have the original script signed by George Romero that I bought from the the escalator and the nurse zombie, who were husband and wife. They were friends.
I was with you when you met them.
Yep. So, and Ken Faria signed it, and the ending of that is way different than what they filmed.
Yeah.
So, I knew you'd have that movie. Knew you'd have it.
Love Dawn of the Dead.
Do you have Halloween?
I do. And the reason I have that on there, I always liked that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then they re-released it in the theater a couple of years ago. And when I sat down and just watched that in the theater,
Right.
my appreciation for that movie, it was just reminded of just how great that movie really is.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wow. There's just scenes in the daytime in that movie
Right.
that are so scary.
Yeah. And the soundtrack is perfect. I was
And-
just, oh my god.
And like Terminator, this was before every character in every movie just kept getting back up.
Right.
So it was like Michael Myers and the Terminator were the first 2 regularly like getting shot or whatever, falling down and getting back up. You're like, what now? Like you're like, I was gonna get up.
Yeah. No, that was such a good movie, man. I probably have seen it 30 times. 30, between 30 and 50 times. And I never get tired of it. Ever. I get, like, Halloween 2 I watched a couple of years ago. I was like, oh, that wasn't as good as I remember. Halloween 3 I liked more than Halloween 2.
Oh, I just watched that again last
8
year.
more days till Halloween, Halloween, Halloween.
It's got all those cheesy computer, like
Never
Atari
watched.
2600.
Yeah, never buy a Silver Shamrock mask. Unless you want
I wish they had gone in the
worms.
direction that they originally said they were going to do, where just Halloween was the name, and every year it would be something different. So
Right.
just like, this is the Halloween movie. And just let Michael Myers go.
Yeah. You know what, though? We grew up in an era where you didn't let those guys go.
Right.
So I didn't mind
No,
it.
because they had the next Freddy and Jason.
And Leatherface, and I mean, it was just, you know, we're kind of, we grew up on that.
And that first scene when he's a little kid, and he's standing there with a knife, I always
Yeah.
love that part.
That was crazy. Tell me another one you got on your list.
American Werewolf in London.
Oh, I don't have that on my list.
It's.
I could probably reenact that entire movie
Yeah.
and every line from it.
I watched it last year, and I just realized how lean that movie is. There's no fat on that movie.
No.
This happens, this happens, this happens, this happens.
A naked American man stole my balloon.
It's hilarious. It's got the best special effects. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It's.
It had the werewolf. It had the essence of the werewolf movie, because the Universal monsters, you always sympathize with the monsters, and you sympathize with him. So they did a good job bridging that gap.
Best use of music in a horror movie probably ever.
Had Van Morrison's Moondance,
Bad Moon Rising.
Bad Moon Rising, great music. Everything about that movie was great.
Blue Moon at the end.
How many times did you watch the shower scene?
Oh. She's in the Avengers now.
Yes, she was in Logan's Run.
Oh yeah. She's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, she definitely is. Here's one that I know is on my list. It's not on your list, and this is one that I just love: Motel Hell. Meat's meat, and man's gotta eat.
That movie has a special place in my heart though, because that was right in the video store era.
Yep, exactly. Although I think I saw that at the Kent movie theater by my house when it came out, but I just love that movie. I don't know why I love it so much, but I like the idea of planting people in the ground and making sausages out of them.
I watched that last year.
Cliff Clavin's in it.
Oh my gosh.
He's one of the guys buried going. They pull their vocal cords out.
I put that in the golden age of
That's 80s.
80s, like, yeah, that's Hall of Famer.
See, for me, it was hard. It was that or the Funhouse. Like, those two movies, I love. I watched them every frickin' Horror-tober.
See, like, I like Maniac more than you did.
Yes. I like Maniac, but not that much. I can't watch Maniac over and over.
Rewatch that movie. Like the shotgun scene. It's not on my list, but it's honorable mention.
Not on the list? All right. Give me another one on your list.
Here's a movie that I actually don't really consider it a horror movie, but it's probably one of the greatest horror movies of all time. Is Jaws.
I would give Jaws a horror movie stamp of approval.
That's the thing. So Jaws is one of my favorite movies of all time anyway.
Right.
I don't necessarily think of it as a horror movie, but I know other people do.
Yeah.
But to me, I'm like, yeah, there's the scariness and all that, but it's such a great character movie.
Yeah. Plus, it's implausible. I think sometimes that makes a horror movie a horror movie. It's like, all right, that's not really ever going to happen. But they do such a good job making you feel.
Has there ever been a movie that had more of an impact on society? People are terrified to go in the water.
I know, Blithe
day.
Spirit.
What?
Have you ever seen Blithe Spirit? Frederick March? No.
Drop Dead Fred?
Drop Dead Fred. Oh my God! When my wife was in the hospital for like a year in the '90s, that I was on all the time.
Was that Harry Mandel?
No, that was the Australian guy or British actor, and Phoebe Cates.
Sweet Phoebe Cates.
Exactly. I'll take the movie that's a no-brainer for me. Creature from the Black Lagoon, which it is loved so much in my house that my thing is when you turn 18, I will take you to get a tattoo. I did that with my oldest last year. My next will be next year, and we're both getting matching Creature from the Black Lagoon tattoos.
Wow.
That's how deep it runs. I saw that movie on Channel 11 in 3D when you got 3D glasses from 7-Eleven.
Revenge of the Creature.
I saw it once where it was performed at a performance hall and an orchestra played the music live as you watch the movie. I saw it in remastered 3D at the Alamo last year. I've met Julia Adams, and I've met Rico Browning, who was the Creature from the... I mean, I'm wearing the shirt. I have multiple Creature from the Black Lagoon.
You got more Creature stuff than anyway.
Lyle Blackburn has more than I do. He beats me on that. But one day, I hope to beat him.
Well, along those lines, we've established already that you're more of a Universal guy and I'm more of a Hammer guy.
Right.
So I put a Hammer movie on here. And I feel like it's representative of all the Hammer movies I watched as a kid. Because I would just turn on Channel 11 at midnight and watch the horror movie that was on at the same time as Saturday Night Live.
Right.
And it was often a Hammer movie, and if it was a vampire movie, even better. And then as I got older and I had all my vampire books and stuff, and I started to realize which ones were which, and I put Horror of Dracula as the best Christopher Lee.
Not the Vampire Lovers?
That's a good movie. But I put that because it's the best Van Helsing Dracula of the Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. It's funny when you're watching that. All the Hammer movies are so 60s.
Oh,
They all take place, in the olden days, but
I always say you know a Hammer movie without looking at it.
yeah.
Just the sound, just the way they walked and the sound of a door opening. Like, oh, that's a Hammer.
And Hammer movies scared the
Soundtrack.
hell out of me when I was little.
Right.
And I just grew to love them. So I just said, when I was a big vampire guy, I'm like, Horror of Dracula would be the best of the Christopher Lee Draculas and a special place in my heart. But I would say it's representing midnight Hammer movies
Right.
in general for me. And when you say vampire lovers, that's the thing. You put that on, and some female vampire would bare her fangs down and be like, and I'd go to bed. I had no idea what the hell I was watching. I was
Right.
going to bed like, I'm dead. With garlic powder all over my room.
Well, this is from the same era, the 60s. It's The Haunting, which is based on Shirley Jackson, who, if you catch Rue Morgue, she's on the cover. She's long gone, but she wrote it. To me, it's terrifying. Robert Wise was the director, and Julie Harris is in it, Russ Tamblyn. And it's four people going in a haunted, old, crumbling mansion and to seek out the paranormal. And you'll see a lot of the camera work and stuff and the effects Sam Raimi took when he did Evil Dead. It still kind of does a little bit.
People talk about that movie being the greatest haunted house movie ever.
It is. For my money, it is. Because there's not a lot going on. It's about sound and anticipation and wondering, is Julie Harris, is this all in her head? And there's a lesbian kind of undertone thing going there. It's really ahead of its time. I love that movie. You never watch the remake. Ever.
I thought it was in the theater.
Don't. Alright, Jack. Hit me with another. See if it's on my list.
I'm going to tell you the one that I put 2 down. I put Nightmare on Elm Street and Dream Warriors because I love Nightmare on Elm Street. I think it's a great movie. Dream Warriors is what made me love Freddy. That's where they nailed it. There's some great kills in that movie. There's humor.
In my dreams, I can walk.
Yeah, there's just like it's such an entertaining movie, and it like took the original concept and then did something. They took it to the next level. Then the rest of the Elm Street movies are generic or whatever, whatever. But like Dream Warriors and the first one are the 2 that I'm like.
They're so different movies too. The first one's very serious, straight up horror movie. The second one is kind of you get a little bit of the campy Freddy.
Yeah, they go over the top with the special effects. The big Freddy worm.
Yeah, gave us Patricia Arquette. Thank you.
And Kincaid.
Freddy. Yeah, I didn't include any
great
Freddy
kills.
movies.
Let's get high.
Same era, I put Friday the 13th because I know they're terrible. I know they're terrible movies, and I could watch all of them over and over and over again.
I didn't put any on here, but it's hard for me because I probably enjoyed the Friday the 13th series way more than the Halloween series.
Oh yeah,
and I saw most of those in the theater, and went bananas. And like the one with the final chapter, like I would die. That's one of the greatest moments in the history of seeing a movie in a theater. Everybody went bonkers.
See, that's the thing you're not getting today. Friday the 13th movies were an event. Everybody went, and it was cherry bombs going off here, and it was screaming and making out and just
high-fiving, and
it was awesome.
It was so great.
There's nothing close to that anymore. Nothing.
No. So I used to go to the Avon Theater in Connecticut and just see these, and it was so great. So like, yeah, they're not the highest quality, but they're.
Who cares?
They're the bedrock.
Yeah, exactly. Love those movies.
Fright Night's on my list.
Really?
Love Fright Night. It's hard for me to. I love vampire movies, although there's a lot of bad vampire movies. And when I think about Fright Night, it may be my favorite vampire movie because it's an homage to other vampire movies.
Right.
But it's also a really well done movie with great characters. There's this element of humor to it. Great lines.
Are you changing your name to Peter Vincent?
I'm going to change my name to Evil Ed.
You're so cool, Brewster. What do you think of the sequel? Fright Night 2.
I did not like
Electric
the sequel.
Boogaloo.
Yeah, I did not like the sequel, and then I thought the remake was okay, and then I thought there's a Fright Night 2 remake that's like a remake of Fright Night, but with a female vampire. It's very convoluted.
Yeah. Stick with one and you'll be all right.
The first one, though, Roddy McDowall.
Great.
And Chris Sarandon. So great. So that's one of those ones I have. I'll pop it in, and I'm happy.
A comfort movie. You know what? I feel that and American Werewolf in London have the same kind of vibe.
Yes, that's the vampire version of American Werewolf in London.
Yeah, they definitely have the same vibe.
Mrs. Brewster.
Well, I'm going to go way back, Universal Time, to my man, Frankenstein.
Frankie.
It's funny because Frankenstein was one of the first. Creature from the Black Lagoon was the last. Huh. So I like the bookends. I love Frankenstein. I love Bride of Frankenstein, Son of Frankenstein. Those 3 movies are just, to me, perfection. From the sets, to the music.
The guy who plays Dr. Frankenstein bugs the hell out of me.
It's alive! It's alive! Clive Owen.
Yeah, Clive Owen.
He was great. It was funny, I've said this before, I'm sure, that the first time I had my wife sit down to watch Frankenstein, because she never really was into this stuff, she wept in the end. She goes, "What? Did they kill him?" I'm like, you get it! You're supposed to feel sorry for this guy. He was ripped from probably the cold comfort of death and brought into misery. So, I could watch Frankenstein. Those 3 movies, and then throw in Young Frankenstein, and I could watch
them. Young Frankenstein.
Which Young Frankenstein is all 3 movies crammed into one.
Here's a movie that we both love. It's a TV movie. The Night Stalker.
Yep.
So it turned into a TV show, which we both loved. The original movie is a vampire, and I watch that basically every year.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
And I think it's perfection. It's just
Yeah, back when you could get great TV movies.
yeah. ABC used to make these great
That
horror
and Duel,
movies.
to me, were the two best that came out of.
But that movie, like a vampire in Las Vegas, he can operate at night. People are transient.
Right.
But the plot, like what the vampire is actually up to, is like really good. So I mean, yeah, it's a 1972 movie, so there's some, and it's a TV movie, so there's a couple of hokey
That's all right.
little things and stuff like that. But the character, first of all, Kolchak is one of the all-time great characters.
Yes.
All the movies and TV shows that have come since, like the X-Files and whatever, they all owe him a debt.
Yep, absolutely.
But again, and then just another vampire that's actually afraid of crosses, and just done right.
Yeah, they stuck to the rules.
And that movie and TV show were like the foundation of my whole
Right.
horror love.
Yeah, oh my god. I mean, I even, in my bio, I mentioned the Night Stalker. I'm just weaned on the Night Stalker and in search of. I'm going to move up to two movies that came out not too far apart. The Descent,
Oh,
one of my,
that's a good one.
to me, that's Alien in a Cave.
That's a
It's even
scary movie.
stranger. Yeah, it's creepy and it's claustrophobic. So I love The Descent and Paranormal Activity, which
Really?
people might make fun of it now because it's been beaten to death. But at the time, I thought it was just so well done, and we were uncomfortable coming back home, going to sleep.
See, that movie I thought was a letdown. I thought the ending, I felt like could have been. I had complaints about the ending. I think it's pretty good. I liked what it was trying to do.
Right. Well, we live in a haunted place, so watching people living in a haunted place made us pretty uncomfortable. But I love that movie. I loved Paranormal Activity 1, 3, and 5. The odd number Paranormal Activities are way better than
It's like the
evens.
even Star Treks.
Yeah. But The Descent is great. If you
Oh.
haven't seen The Descent, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Another movie like Jaws, just kind of a mainstream movie
Piranha.
that I love. That again, to me, it's just a tremendous movie, but people consider it horror. Is Silence of the Lambs.
Yes.
Again, that's in my top 5, 10 of all time,
Yeah.
horror or not. But there are just things done in that movie. When Jodie Foster goes down into the basement after Buffalo Bill,
Mm-hmm.
you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
That theater was terrified. And then when she's like in the dark and he's got the gun,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, let's talk about it. Anthony Hopkins. He's on screen for like 16 minutes in that movie or something.
It's quality 16 minutes.
Oh my God! And what he does.
Yeah, it's a great movie. It's scary. That's a horror movie.
And what they do with the whole Clarice Starling as a woman in a man's world,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that, where like she's just running and the other guys are like checking around. So everywhere she goes, she's got to
Prove herself.
prove herself. There's so much good in that movie.
Yeah, that's a fantastic movie, and I have no problem putting that on the horror list. I'm gonna close it out with my favorite horror movie of since The Thing, It Follows.
Ah,
And It Follows was a kind of like an homage to John Carpenter. I could watch it. The idea of a sexually transmitted possession, just a fresh idea. The soundtrack is one of the best soundtracks I've heard since the John Carpenter soundtrack. And I love everything. The performances. I love Detroit as a character in the movie. I just love everything about that movie.
I like how it's so weird that you can't tell what year it is.
Yeah, that's, that everything looks old except the girl was reading books on what looked like a diaphragm case. I like
A clamshell
weird.
Kindle.
Yeah.
That's
But
a great movie.
Everything else is old looking, and I thought that's literally it's my favorite movie of the last 30 years.
I picked up that Blu-ray.
Me too. Somewhere in here. I've watched it a few times.
I threw on, for nostalgia's sake, Salem's Lot.
Good movie.
See, when I first saw that movie, I wasn't all that impressed with it, but I liked it.
Right.
But as I got older, I appreciated the fact that that movie, for its flaws, does vampires really well. These glowing-eyed, hypnotize you, hideous things with a.
Well, he's Nosferatu-y.
I didn't like the way. I didn't like Barlow himself.
Really?
Just being a blue. Even though he was Nosferatu, I thought he was weaker. But they had what's his name, as Straker, James.
I can't remember.
Mason.
Yeah.
He's so good. And, David Soul, I was thinking Starsky and Hutch the whole time. But, so, like, first of all, there's not too many good Stephen King adaptations.
Right.
And for a book that's thick, I thought they cut out what they cut out of the book I thought was good for this, because when they did the second remake of it, they left stuff in that I was like, eh.
Yeah, there's a lot in that book that can be cut out.
Yeah. So I thought for what it was, but when I look at, like, vampire movies now, I'm like, I like this master and drone, and they are feeding on you and they're hypnotizing you, and like you've got to fight these things. And Stephen King said it was his Dracula,
right?
And so, like the kid at the window and all that stuff. That's a really horrifying.
Yeah.
That's another thing that when people talk, they'll reference like, "Oh my God, open the window," So that movie always has like. It's almost like you get it on Blu-ray, get it on the DVD. It's like a 2 DVD set.
Right.
Watch the last 5 minutes of the first disc where the funeral and the kid sits up in the coffin.
Yeah.
And from that till the end is like awesome.
No, that's a good pick. I'm surprised I didn't put that on there. That's funny. You got a lot of vampire stuff on your list.
I'm a big vampire guy.
You're the vampire man. And I've got a lot of monsters. There we go. Vampires, monsters. That's all you need to know about both of us.
Good list. So, I'm ready for Halloween. How about you?
Oh, you want me to tell you what I'm going to be for Halloween?
Yes.
Because I've said this before, in my neighborhood, Halloween is a big, big deal. Last year we got over 400 people to the house. Over 400. So this year I am going to be Elvira.
Oh my God.
I am shaving for the first time in 20 years completely, and I am going to be straight up Elvira. Maybe I'll put that at Facebook. I'll live stream that.
I cannot wait to see that.
That'll be the most disturbing Elvira ever.
Oh.
But I have a daughter who's a cosmetologist, so she's going to be doing my makeup. I'm going to look slamming.
We did a show recently about recasting classic roles. I would not cast you as the new Elvira.
Oh, I am gonna...
Maybe you'll change my mind.
I've met her several times. I feel like I have her essence in me now.
Elvira.
Oak Ridge Boys.
Nice. All right. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Have a very good Halloween. Have a safe Halloween, or have an unsafe Halloween.
Email us on Facebook or whatever and tell us what you're up to.
All right. Go out there and be scary, please.
Bye.
Bye.